Lord, I could be serving you better if you would take this from me. When in reality, the Lord's gonna do what he's gonna do through these hard things. I mean, because that's our life here on this earth. And so I think, it's silly of me to be like, well, Lord, really you should take this away because I could be serving a lot better. My heart would be better if you would just take this from me, when he's refining and he's shaping us all through the hardship. Well, I grew up in a house where my parents love the Lord and they love each other. And so I was just immediately introduced to the gospel. I've been in church my whole life and been at First Baptist since I was 4. I recognized my need for a Savior when I was 5. And I really think, I know a lot of it was church, and I think a lot of it was just my family home life was just, I saw my parents' faith and realized, well, I can't just see their faith. It has to be my own. And I, pretty young, was like, yeah, I need a Savior. From about 5 to 11, I had, I would say, little to no trials in my life. It was very easygoing for little Amelia. And when I was 11, I had an allergic reaction, and I was fine physically after it, but it set off a whole bunch of mental health issues as a trauma response. Severe anxiety and severe OCD. And if you're not familiar with OCD, a lot of people think it's just the organizing and the keeping things clean, and I wish that was what it was. But it's more so you have a thought in your head that you cannot get out, and you're afraid that the thing that you're most afraid of is gonna happen, and then you're perceiving it as really happening even when there's nothing wrong. It's just very irrational. It got under control pretty quickly. Like, the Lord provided lots of resources and support and medicine, and all that was under control within 3 or 4 months. It was good. And I thought I was never gonna struggle with that again. I thought that was my one life trial, and I kind of checked it off in my list mentally. Even though everyone, my doctors and everyone was like, this will probably happen again, and it might happen worse. So don't forget everything you've learned, don't check out from it. But I was like, no, I got this under control, so no need to worry about it. And so I was very reliant on myself in that, because I thought that I had fixed it before, because I had worked so hard with therapy and strategy and all the different things that you're supposed to do. Last spring, my junior year of high school, I had another allergic reaction, and it set off the whole thing again. And as soon as I realized that it was OCD, I started going back to therapy, doing new therapies, like learning new strategy stuff to handle it, taking new medicine, seeing a new doctor, and it just kept getting worse. And I really struggled a lot with the Lord just not taking it away, because it wasn't that I didn't think that he could. I knew he could. I was like, Lord, I believe, I've read in your word where you heal people. Like, I believe that you could take this away from me. You're just not. And so it was frustrating me, but it was also scaring me. Like, I thought, I'm going to live like this for the rest of my life on earth. Like, I'm not going to have relief from this until I'm in heaven. There were 2 verses that I loved, and one of them is Psalms 27, and it says that I'll remain confident of this, that I'll see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And I prayed that and almost just begged the Lord, like, let me, Lord, see your goodness here. And he was so kind to, even in the midst of all of that hardship, to show me where he was working. He was not gone even when I felt isolated, because mental health is super isolating. I remember being very upset all the time, but specifically praying and being like, Lord, I feel like I'm breaking apart. Like, I cannot do this. And I just remember that little comfort of, you're right, Amelia, you can't do this. Like, if you could do this, we would not be in this situation. Lots of times, I was frustrated, but I also was comforted in the fact that the Lord lets us ask questions, and it didn't draw me away, because if there was a time that I was away, I was like, I really can't do this. I cannot do this. I was like, I would rather be upset in the presence of the Lord than upset by myself over here. And so it made me get on track with my quiet time, not in a legalistic way, but in I need this. I'm craving this. I have to do this. And, I want to be with the Lord. As much as I get frustrated at all these emotions, I'm so thankful for them because I don't want to grow numb to what the Lord has done. I don't want it to ever be something that I'm like, oh yeah, he took care of that, but that was a long time ago. I'm like, that's my testimony. That's my story. And I don't want, it to ever be downplayed in my own head and something that's forgotten.